Yeah, heck of a ball game. I thought it was a dog fight. Us in South Carolina State, and usually it's a very good game. But I thought two of the better, teams in Black College going at it toe to toe, and they came out on fire. They jumped up on a 17 to 3, and they had an onside kick they recovered. I thought that the ball hit the kicker before it went 10 yards, but I guess the refs saw it differently. But yeah, they jumped out 17 to 3 on us. I thought our guys, fought back when we didn't panic, and I thought that we fought back, gave ourselves a chance. Had big momentum going into halftime. The crowd was very engaged and behind us. I thought the band was rocking, and I thought we were playing well. We come out in the second half and we fumble the opening kickoff in the second half, and we gave them the ball back. So you can't give teams like this that are as good as South Carolina State two extra possessions. And then that was the result of the day. They had the ball, possessed the ball for 36 minutes to our 23 minutes. And then we struggled on third down in the fourth quarter. And our defense was on the field way too long. I thought we had a couple good stands. After the onside kick, we held them to a field goal. We had the huge, fourth down goal line stand towards the end of the game. But, defense on the field way too long. And I thought we kind of ran out of gas defensively. But I was very pleased with the guys' effort. I was pleased with how we fought. Um, we just came up short.
All right, this time, open up for questions from members of the media. Ask questions of Coach at this time.
Yeah, Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach, good afternoon.
Good seeing you again, Doc.
Good to see you as well. I had wanted a chance to ask you a little more about Chris Mosley and just in terms of what he's done for you this year. I know we opened it up and he had a big opening game, and you talked about the fact that maybe he should have played a little more last year. But after kind of reviewing what he's done this year thus far, in this past game, as you said, he played big, 21, over 100 yards, 5 yards of carry, setting you up for momentum as you moved in there and got in the end zone once. Talk a little bit about what he's brought to the table and how he played in this past game.
Yeah, he's a dynamic back, and he possesses great speed. And you could tell a big difference when he's out there. We have AJ Rogers is a really good running back, and Maggio's a good back, but Mosley just has a different gear and plays at a different speed. And this past weekend, I thought that our offensive line didn't play as well as I would like to have seen us play, but I thought Mosley played well. And you have 5 yards of carry, that's a good day. And you give it to him twice, that's a first down, really. But the second half of that game, and I think when you're in games like this, schematically, coaches, we come up with a game plan, things that we think will work. But when the game is on the line, I think we need to think more of players as opposed to plays. And I mentioned this earlier, but you got to get your playmakers the ball when the game's on the line. Whether it be Chauncey Spikes probably should have some touches late in the game, and we probably should have leaned on Mosley a little bit more late in the game. But he's a dynamic running back. He's had a great career here. Obviously had an outstanding year this year, but he's a blessing to have on the team. Great young man, vocal leader for us, and is passionate about the game. And the fourth down pass at the very end of the game, it went off his fingertips. He dropped it. Probably should have caught it. And that was hard for him. But that one play did not lose the game for us. But Mosley's been solid guy and very consistent for us this year.
I'm out of Texas area, as you're quite aware of. And so Fort Worth, Texas, I happen to do a award that is for players that play at HBCUs that are connected with the state of Texas. It's named after my great-great-uncle, Ben L. Calvo, Sr., that played fullback in 1925.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a Black College All-American, played at Wiley College, now Wiley University. In the SWAC is one of those founding members, if you allow me to kind of that story out there. But I'm always fascinated when players get an opportunity to go outside of Texas, particularly when they play at HBCUs. And he's one of the folks that, young men, I should say, is up for the award. And so that's why I wanted to get some particular framing on here, and I appreciate you sharing that. In addition, how did you get to a position to be able to recruit him and then lure him or entice him to come play with the legends over at North Carolina Central?
Right. Yeah. Mosley was obviously from Texas, coming out of high school. I don't think he got the looks as many offers as he wanted coming out. Ended up going to junior college, and Was at the JUCO for 2 years, and then once he finished up there, we saw his film, had a couple conversations with he and his family, and his family is outstanding, and they're the type people, and he's the type of person that fits our culture. I hear say culture all the time,
Yes,
but
sir.
when you sit down and recruit a young man, it's more for me than just watching that 4 or 5 minute highlight film. Is this somebody that can come in here and that fits our culture? Because if not, it's not going to work for either one of us. They're going to come here and be frustrated, and I'm gonna be frustrated. So, it's all about culture and the fit. And I thought personally, his personality fit us. Great young man, bubbly personality, always has a smile on his face. I can't say enough about him. And his attitude and his energy is contagious. Then once he's in the room, you can just feel the mood lighten, and guys got a smile on their face. But he's been great here, and he's been the face of the program this year. We call him Mr. TikTok because he's always doing TikTok videos.
That's pretty awesome. Appreciate the giving me a little more insight on the young man. Certainly seems like he's held up his side of the bargain. So I appreciate you. The following question I had was just about the next matchup against Morgan State. When everybody in the world outside of you all, you go to work daily and get the players to try to move it. But outside, media-wise, we build up these game matchups, your rankings of where you ranking coming into it, trying to sell a matchup, tell a story, get likes, views, whatever you want to call it, probably for some perspective. But how do you take that from a coach's perspective when you want to do so well and it doesn't work out, but then you have obviously one more game that's important in terms of where the program wants to be, want to finish strong, culture over scheme, that framework. How do you come in with the players for this week to get ready for their work?
That's a great question, man. And I tell the guys, you got to make the most of it, of every opportunity. Tomorrow's not promised, and I stand here today. As a matter of fact, my dad got sick at the game this weekend, and he's in surgery right now having a procedure done. So tomorrow's not promised, man. So whenever you have an opportunity, you got to make the best of it, make the most of it, because you don't never know what tomorrow holds. So we're excited about the opportunity to be able to play this game this weekend against Morgan State. Obviously, the season did not go how we wanted it to go, but 8 wins is a good season. Obviously we want championships, but there's a whole lot of folks that's coaching and playing football that would love to have an 8-win season. Around here, we want championships, and that's the goal, and that's what we're shooting for. But we fell a little short this year. But I'm very proud of this football team. I'm proud of my coaching staff. And we will work this off season after we finish up and close up this weekend against Morgan to get right and win championships in the near future.
I have no doubt about that. Certainly, I appreciate you sharing something I know that's very dear and in some ways emotional. So I say prayers to you, your family, that everything goes well. And I do have one follow-up question. I promise I'll get out your hair after this. It's more of a philosophical, big picture, and it might be tough with everything that went on with this season. In some ways, it's been a tremendous HBCU football season overall. I think there's 3 teams out of the MEAC that have 7 wins. Many of them going to get 8, 9 wins. Counterpart on the other side in the SWAC, there are 4 teams with 7 wins, and several of them trying to get the 500 mark to get over it. What is your thoughts with all the momentum that's going on to get to the Celebration Bowl? In your case, it didn't work out a couple of years ago, and you got to the FCS playoffs. What would you think? Is it time to look at additional bowl season? Would you entertain going to a different bowl if it was available to play another team in the SWAC or some other teams?
I want to play. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I just want to play. And that's, this game this weekend was so big because if we didn't make it to the Celebration Bowl, we still had an opportunity, play in the playoffs. So, it's about postseason play for me. That's what it is. If it's a meaningful game, I'm with it. If it's going to be a meaningful game, but, I don't want to play a 13th game and, in front of 2,000 people across the country if it doesn't make sense. So, if it makes sense financially for us and it's going to be, a well-organized event that they put on, I'm with it. But I'm not just with playing to be playing in any bootleg classics. So, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Coach, I actually want to ask a question, but this time it's more not so much about a player. I want to talk about actually Thomas Johnson. Looking at the stats, Thomas has 11 sacks on the season and potentially get a couple more this weekend at Morgan State. Can you talk about the impact that he's had on this team this year?
Yeah, Thomas is all of them are favorites depending on the day, but Thomas is one of my personal favorites. We just had lunch together 30 minutes ago. But this is a young man that came to us from California, never been to North Carolina, never didn't know anything about North Carolina Central. He came in here, fell in love with the university, works his butt off, great student, and it is an extremely tough football player. The sky's the limit for him. And coming to the season, he changed so much. His personality was so different. He was so much more outspoken. He wouldn't say two words when he first got here, but now he won't stop talking. And I had a long conversation with him. When stuff is in order in your life, it takes a lot of stress off of you. You can breathe, and now you see people's personality. And he has this everything's in order in his life off the field, in his personal life, and he's doing well academically. And you could just tell how he's moving around and just day to day. You can tell he's in a really good place mentally. And now he can just play football. He's not worried about stuff and anything going on off the field and all that stuff. He can just play. And at the beginning of the season, we were playing Southern University, and they were talking about the defensive end over there, and I think that kid is very good. But I told everybody that I thought I had the defensive player of the year in Black College. And Thomas Johnson, I think, is worthy of having conversations about, being defensive player of the year. But he affects offenses, and people have to slide protections to him, and they always have to make sure they account for him with the running back or a tight end to help with protection. But Thomas can take over a game, and he puts a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, and it helps you in the back end with your defensive pass coverage.
Coach, your thought about pressure on the quarterback. He's seventh in the nation in sacks and 12th in tackles for a loss, and as of right now, he has 13 quarterback hurries. I mean, when you have someone like that on the defensive line being able to put that pressure on the quarterback, and that teams have to put two guys from offensive line, maybe a tight end and a tackle, kind of like make sure he's accounted for. How does that free up the other guys like Zarion and some of the other guys on the defensive line?
Yeah, good question. That's what I've been, try to do schematically, defensively, try to manipulate fronts and protections to try to get guys one-on-one matchups. So if we can, it is a little, difficult with Thomas because they're always looking for him. We're going to try to, account for him. But if he's getting doubled and we can, attack people's protections, now Zarion and Wisdom Sims and DQ and those guys, now they can get after the quarterback and just worry about their one-on-one matchup.
Well, Coach, that's all the questions I have for today. Do you have anything else you want to leave us with?
No, again, the fans that came out, man, they packed the house, and the energy was unbelievable in the stadium this weekend. I just wish we could have, closed the deal and brought home a win for our fans and our seniors for their last home game here in O'Kelly Riddick. But thank you guys. Thank for the media for all the coverage, and thanks for all the prayers and text messages and calls. Thank you all.